Hello, it is the Kiwi Kink, and I am here playing some Star Wars The Old Republic. I'm doing something a little different here. I'm going to be doing a tour of my Alderaan Stronghold in the game. It was introduced about a month ago, and I've got it about 80% complete, so I thought this is a good time to show it off. But because it's actually a rather large land mass, that requires a lot of travel, and I would feel funny talking to myself. I've decided to bring a friend in. Say hello, Zaxxon.
Hello.
Hello. So I'm basically going to give them the tour, and they can provide feedback and commentary, and hopefully things won't get too boring. Anyway, so this is sort of the starting area. We've got over there a couple of starships that we can see that provide us basically a landing bay, and a couple of large Jedi statuettes. As basically my theme for this place is I sort of want it to be very much an ancient world made modern, so there's going to be lots of old statuettes and relics of the past, but also the usual high Star Wars technology.
Mm.
So
And this has water, you said?
yes, this is water that flows around it because of the high grass that clips through, which gives it an interesting effect, sort of like
Still
the lilies have
maintain
grown up.
like, energy.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so if we just head up this way, just going to head up on our speeders just because, again, there is a lot of ground to cover. And also me getting stuck on terrain. So as we come up here, so we've got this nice little camp.
And Rishi
So we've got
doesn't want to trade with these Rishi.
Rishis like this place. They like anywhere that's, well, got people to sell to. But they also blend in nice with the nature. So we've got the campsite here. We've got a Jedi and a Republic SIS agent just sitting around it, staying warm.
Yeah.
And we also have this platform.
That fire object?
No, this is actually part of the Stronghold.
No.
The other stuff I've added, including the stall and the boxes around it, and these flags. So up here we've got the viewing platform along with a sniper just to make sure troublemakers stay out. Now this part, when I first got it, was kind of interesting because when you buy the Stronghold, it's not entirely open. There are sections that you pay to open up.
Yep.
Now over there is a Killick cave which was originally sealed up, but to unseal it, once you paid for it, there was actually a detonator up here that you'd click and you could then watch it explode and open up. It's a one-time thing, but it's an interesting way to do it, and it's something they've been experimenting with as we've been going on with these.
Yeah,
So
it's
that,
usually when you unlock a place, it just opens a door.
yeah. So they've started doing things like having rubble blocking pathways and that, so you can go in and just blow it up.
Yeah. Although that means you get the Killicks out, so...
Yeah. Also,
nice and sealed in here, and out there.
okay, so this is a Killick cave, which is a bug-like alien species that's native to Alderaan. Now we can actually activate them here. That comes standard, and we can do it either heavy or light,
None.
or none, or none at all.
Hive.
Oh no, the power's already gone to Zaxxon's head. But yeah, it just adds a bit of lived-in quality to the cave as they go about their business here. But yeah, these specific killix are not people I've put in. They come standard. However, I have added a few more things just to give the cave a bit of personality. Got a Sith intelligence cipher in here, keeping an eye on things. A couple of mining carts and some monsters, because every cave needs monsters.
I like that you can just take out all the killix because there's more options for decorating. You could have it that this was an old killick mine that you've taken out all the killix and are setting up something. Or
Yeah, I mean, and one of my original ideas was that this was possibly going to be an Imperial stronghold.
like a secret base.
Yeah, so I've gone with a Republic theme for my excuse me, for my stronghold, so that's why we'll see a lot of Republic flags in that, because I think that fits in with Alderaan, which is a peaceful planet with no weapons of any kind.
It was originally in the Republic before shit went down.
Yeah, it's one of their capital worlds, so it makes sense. But I decided to go in a slightly different tract. And yeah, we've got these big cybernetic beasties as well.
From Boss, I believe.
Yep, from Boss. They're Shay Claws. Yeah. And so yeah, so that's the cave.
You know the other thing I really like? Mountain.
Yeah. In the main game, you often can't mount up inside, but because these strongholds are so huge, you do need them.
Well, you can't mount up inside unless you can.
Yeah.
And you can always mount up outside unless you can't.
Look, consistency costs extra.
Consistency causes controversy.
Yeah, so if we just head up here, we can head back down to the starting area. Now, just out in front here, I've sort of gone with a horticultural theme. So we've got crops getting grown and tested. Got this atrium that's got crops going in it, and then some more traditional fields. And of course, wherever there are fields, there's naturally some giant spiky herbivore that's interested in them.
Well, that's the law.
Yeah, I swear it's a herbivore.
That's providing fertilizer.
Yeah. He's got. Yeah.
But the teeth don't look like it.
So we've got these fruit crops over here and some melon crops as well. And just over here we've got, those other crops, those were done on Monday. These ones over here, they're a bit more haphazard. They were done on Friday.
Yeah.
And naturally we also...
and then you go, stuff it. Everywhere.
Yeah, we also have a Rishi over here tasting the fruit. And a Republic pilot just taking inventory of stock.
Yep.
Yeah, so again, this is all added there. Why some of these darker trees out in the distances are part of my part of the actual stronghold. The more greener plants and stuff I've added myself.
Like that big purpley top tree, which I like.
Yeah, there's these big ones I've added with the sort of flattened out top.
Yeah, that's like the design.
Yeah, they're quite nice. So we just head round. We'll start heading up. Now, again, with the old and new, I've got some statues to the great hero Revan, he who walked on both the light and dark side, and of course was the main character of the very influential RPG Knights of the Old Republic, which is also what I accidentally call this game a lot.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Marked Republic, so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's
Should have a statue of Bastila, because did you know that Bastila has battle meditation?
yeah. Unfortunately, they haven't added Bastila or her battle meditation into the game yet.
Boo.
Boo.
Actually, they have.
Well,
It's part of the
SWTOR has.
No, but you meet Bastila on the consular quest.
Oh, that's right. Ooh.
Her holocron image, anyway.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that playthrough, unfortunately. And so up here we've got a couple of hollow war droids just to ward off anyone who has any ill will towards us. We've also put in a couple of monuments just to give it the place a bit of regal flavour. So, you know, they're nice and pretty and work quite well, I feel, with the Alderaanian design. And, of course, we've got all these Republic flags hanging up.
Tons of them.
Yeah. 'Cause, hey, the Republic is proud of itself, you know, because someone has to be.
Thin line between pride and arrogance.
Yeah, and they do both. Okay. So we just bypass these guards. It's okay. Just pretend we own the place. And if we just head through here, you can see we've got the flags again. Just signal it, and we come into the main hallway, which has this really lovely stained glass window up the top.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So this is a big spacious area that did a bit to work on. So over here I've just got a seneschal to basically meet and greet anyone and buy stuff off them if they need things to sell. And we've also she sells decorations, so if you need to spruce up the place. And we've got a couple of Jedi just hanging around, as well as these statues, including Revan himself again, except
Revan?
on a smaller scale. This one is just a ancient Jedi, but these ones are Revan Reborn.
Right. He's a bad guy.
Uh,
Well, one of those times he's
Bad guy or good guy with bad plans. You know, who are we to judge?
What's the difference?
Yeah. So yeah, we've got some staff around just talking to people via holograms or sometimes in person. We also have these sort of altars around here because, again, along with the crystal lights, just to give that ancient feel to it, even though the palace is being brought up into a more modern design. So
It's probably fed by very advanced gas.
oh, very much so.
Or it's holographic fire.
So it's, yeah. And just out the back here we've got just this nice glowing Jedi and a holocron table, which took us a lot to earn.
I was going to say, that looks cool. It must have been really easy to get.
Yeah, you get that through an achievement, and let's just say I seriously cheered when I got that achievement. It
took us years.
We don't like to talk about it, okay? Okay, so just in here...
What happens on the Tatooine Blimp ride stays on the Tatooine Blimp ride.
There were no jails involved, I swear. Anyway, so what we have here is just sort of a lounge room. Oh, thank you. Which, again, we've got these nice fountains with the Jedi holocrons in them, and just a waiting room so visitors can sit here, have a few drinks while they wait to be seen.
Are these fountains like that, or have you mashed stuff together?
The fountains and the holocrons are separate units. Essentially, I lay down the holocron and then I put down the fountain on top of it. And it just
Nice.
works really well.
Yeah.
Because actually, I'll actually just give a demonstration
When I
on
first saw
that.
those big statues outside with the water swishing around them,
Yeah,
I thought you'd done a similar thing there.
yeah. So I'll just pick this up so I can show people what I mean. So as you can see, it's just the holocron that I've put there. And then if I place this down and then just move it along until it's dead center and hold hooks, and hey presto, you've got this nice ornate looking fountain, which is actually a good combination of two items in the game. The actual game itself is sort of filled with tricks like that that the devs themselves have used.
You told me that you've was it gone along and seen stuff and gone, that's that and that too.
Yeah, what may appear to be one piece is often several. Now in here we've sort of got a science/medical bay, where we've got a couple of medical droids, a couple of galactic maps, and computers and such. Yeah, basically this is where the science is done.
Yeah, is that Alderaan?
Yeah, these are both Alderaan, because, Alderaan likes Alderaan. Fans. And, as you can see, our scientists are very enthusiastic about their work.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
What are they up to?
Yeah. Please ignore the fact that if you highlight him, it says a Quashian gambler. He's a scientist, I swear. He's not paying off any sort of debt.
The fact he's a gambler scientist makes me even more worried.
Well, we don't get to make any scientific discoveries without breaking a few planets through viruses. So if we just head down here to the other side, what we have in here is the barracks.
Yay!
Where we have Jedi Knight Tau Adair beaming in to give a pep talk to our lovely soldiers who are all standing to attention. So as a barracks, this is just a mix of Republic propaganda and weapons and supplies, and just 4 beds between them, so I guess they have to sleep on rotation.
Yeah, well, you gotta have some people on guard.
Yeah, true. But yes, they're very, very obedient and standing very still.
So is she.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the gravity of the situation. Anyway, so we'll head off now to probably the most important part of the palace. We're heading to the throne room. Now, just before we get there, we do have this little waiting area where guests wanting to meet with royalty can hang about.
Yep.
Got these nice Alliance statues, just to show that we're all around.
Yep.
And a Christmas tree because it goes with the wintry soundscape. So if we just head through here, we will head to the throne room proper, and we will meet our liege, Santa Claus.
Snowballs at me.
Yeah, he likes to throw snowballs, as his wont as ruler. Now, as we can see, this again sort of has the crystals out and about to emphasize the old and new aesthetic, but also we've got animal heads mounted on the walls and the Wampa mat here, just because the king fancies himself as a bit of a hunter, or at least pays people to go kill things and claims that he did it himself.
Yep.
Yeah, and he also has a nice view just looking out over that lake there. And we've got a couple of Thranters just circling around from their nest.
What's that yellow thing? Oh, is that nest?
That is the nest, yes.
Aye.
Yes. So,
No,
yeah.
it's a really good sniper position out there.
Yes, as you can see, Zach is totally on the side of light.
I'm thinking defensively, you know, if
Yeah.
you've got a... I hope this is bulletproof glass.
Well, it's also why his throne's so big. It provides his big head some protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there are Imperials sneaking around in claves and such.
Actually, the Imperial's sort of just standing here.
Yeah, I say he's the rangefinder.
So, yeah.
What if he's got the death mark?
Unfortunately, that does not come standard. So again, if we just head out here, this just takes us to an outside patio where we have officials just meeting and chatting and enjoying the view, which again is very pretty. And of course, every patio needs himself a shirtless dancer. He's very happy to be here. He loves the climate. The cold makes his nipples feel very special. Yeah.
Are hard like diamonds.
Yes.
You could even snipe from up here. I can see him. Look.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see him.
Better be bulletproof glass.
Oh, actually, it looks like it's got a bit of an energy field on it, so that would probably at least stop the first few shots.
Yeah.
So let's just mount up and just head back to the main hall, and we'll be heading now to the elevator, which is just over here. So this will take us up to the mountain retreat.
Strategic withdrawal.
And this is the next part of it. So again, we've got a couple of those nice monuments out here. The flags as well as a couple of the crystals. Just to, once again, do it out. And because it's a bit of colder area, I think we should dress appropriately.
Good point.
So let's just pop in to some nice warm clothing. There you go. Excellent. And, okay, so if we just head up, so what we've got here is we've got a couple of generators, as well as these nice little sunshades there to keep that warm sun off you, so you can really enjoy that bitter cold.
Are they decorations too?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. All of this is done. And once we get up here, we can see some of the wildlife, which is of course pleased to have us about. But that's okay, we've got some professionals here just to ward them off.
Yeah, totally not getting out of hand. Don't know what you're talking about.
No. But yeah, you always want someone who's fairly adept to be handling your security out in the field. Again, we have the statues about there, just again to sort of emphasize just how old and ancient Alderaan is as a planet. We
What's happening here?
also have a little bit of a prison here, just for some infected souls until we can find a cure. They've been infected by the dark side.
There's only one cure for Sith. Bringing them back to light. Tauntauns!
Yeah. Tauntauns because, well, it's cold and they like the cold. They also make expert mounts, such as this one here. yeah. And he's color-coded to match my vibrant character's look.
Yeah, so when you're freezing to death, at least you look good.
Hey, style keeps you alive, man. Again, we've got these flaming altars here. Also tying it into the ones that we have in the main hallway, so that there's a bit of continuity. And again, we have more monsters that are getting kept at bay, this time by automated turrets as well as
Someone's
soldiers.
got a harness on. You must be training it.
Look, what he does in his own bedroom is between him and Mrs. Monster. We do not judge here on Alderaan.
Did I say I was judging? Did I say I was judging?
You had a tone in your voice that all Jedi have, and quite frankly, I don't care for it. So here we have some ruins, and we have some more of the holographic robots, just to make sure things don't get out of hand. And we head inside here. What we have is sort of a training area, one where I've put down some soldiers and also some cover and barricades just to give it some flavour. But we also have...
Sort of like training for open combat.
Yeah. We also have these training dummies that you can actually use to train your characters' various abilities on in the main game itself. So if you're doing things like the operations and that, you can sort of practice it down so you can get your order of operations and that for how you lay off your powers and that.
See how good your DPS is and all that.
Yeah. All stuff that I honestly don't do, because I'm mostly here just to role play and
Make pretty fortresses.
yeah, and decorate. I was an interior decorator in my former life, I have come to discover. So just around here we've got a bit of a water collector. Yeah, that's, you know, take those snowflakes, convert them into nice fresh water. And we also have a science station here, manned by a droid, because, well, droids don't feel the cold. I hear they're good for his joints.
Yeah.
So we just head through this way. Now, what we have here is a... we have one of these at the starting area too. We didn't have a look at it. But basically it's a collection of more or less everything you'd need when you come to the planet. So we've got a vendor, we have storage facilities where you can store your equipment and such. We have a galactic market for you to buy and sell your goods from, and also a mailbox for if you receive any mail or need to send some.
Yeah, or as I call it, the only reason I have a stronghold to have really convenient access to all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is actually very convenient to have these here.
Especially since it's so easy to get to and from stronghold.
Yeah, that's quite good. So now we have the outer area where we have some statues here to Emperor Valorian. They were installed by a couple of our guests that are staying here, just to make them feel like home. But we will get to those guests in a moment. First, if we just head through here, as we see, we've still got some Christmas trees about again, and just go here, sort of waiting room area. So this is just where, again, guests can relax before they go and see important people.
This assassin's like, I am evil, and this Jedi's like, I'm watching you.
Yeah, they're having a staring contest. Unfortunately, the Jedi is winning just because you can see her eyes. But yeah, I've also got a couple of hollow trees in here just because I think they look pretty.
They do.
So yeah, put those here. So if we just head here, what we have here is what every stronghold needs, a disco bar. So this is where people can go and wind down, get themselves a drink, and also show off their moves on the dance floor. Yeah. Take that, TikTok. But yes, so yeah, that's just this is a floor decoration that I got through a event late last year, which is just, yeah, when you click on it, it allows your character to show their moves in a variety of ways. It's quite entertaining. So again, this is just set up as a rest and relaxation place, so everyone here is either dancing along and having fun, or providing entertainment, or in this case, making sure things don't get out of hand, because you always need a bouncer for bouncing.
Things like the stars floor I really like, and the decorations, the interactive ones.
Yeah.
Anything like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and they're still working on the interactive stuff, but what they've done has been pretty fun.
Were they going to do a big update or something where they gave interactions to a bunch of stuff?
They're working on that. Basically, they did an overhaul of the engine to make it easier, but it's still being introduced.
Because there's things like these seats, you can't sit down on them.
No.
Without using weird amounts.
But they have updated it, because originally you could have this bar here, but you wouldn't be able to have anyone behind it or anyone near it. So it would just be this big empty bar. But now they've updated it so that we can at least put in people behind the bar or have people near the bar enjoying themselves.
So it's a similar concept to that Jedi fountain?
Yeah.
Mixing things together?
Yeah.
Cool.
So adding multiple decorations in the same area to give it that lived-in and active look. Because one of the things I've found in doing these is adding, especially personnel, just makes it feel much more lived in. Otherwise, they're just big empty arenas. So here we have Zaxxon's favourite place, the Imperial Embassy.
What? Imperials?
Yes.
Why are there Imperials here?
We're trying to forward peace and prosperity. Also, being Imperials, everything's a lot more official here. They have their propaganda about, they have some battle droids just scattered about just to keep everyone in line. We have some officers in charge, and also we have our ambassador to the Sith Empire, Darth Malora, who, as you can see, is very pleased to be here. She's very excited. I do like her armor. And also a statue here to Darth Malgus, the hero of the Empire, with his flag floating. Look, I've killed him twice now. He got better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got things like we've got the armors setups here, just to give it a more imperial bent, more militaristic. These are Zakulian knights.
Yeah, but slowly rotating.
Yeah.
No.
Yep, so they go along. They're not exactly Iron Man's armor, but they're still pretty nice. And just outside, we can't actually access that area, but we can see that we've got a walker out there and some wildlife and a troop just trying to keep it under control.
Also, nice sniper spots.
Oh well.
Not taking note of those at all.
That's also why they have that big DS just behind them, just to provide that extra bit of protection from zealous individuals. Okay, so that's almost everything done. So if we just gonna head outside, and I'm going to take a quick trip back to the start.
And I am not.
Yeah, unfortunately the stronghold is bugged at the moment because the land area is so big.
Speaking of bugs, the door won't open.
Oh dear.
Help!
Uh,
Yay!
there you go. I'll have to call in a mechanic or something to come fix it. But what we have here is a taxi position, just because the land mass is so big. And we can now fly the friendly skies all the way back to the start.
But I can't because I can't see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's okay, you couldn't afford to fly this luxury anyway.
I'm really sad because I love Threnters.
Oh yeah, the Thranters are some of my favourite animals. Just, I mean, sky whales, how can you not love them?
Hello.
Hello. So, now that we're here, so that is more or less all of Alderaan. There's just one more thing to go have a look at, just one final little bit of video game cliches, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So over here, just
Video games.
past the statue, we have a waterfall.
Yay!
And of course, behind waterfalls, there always has to be a secret. So we just head through here. Oh. And what we have is a Trandoshan hunter's camping area where he's set up to go hunt the wildlife, but naturally has no permits, so that's why he's out here. Just
Also, possibly the going through the waterfall will walk away sense, so animals might not be abstracted back there.
there is that. I hadn't thought of that.
I don't know if that's legit, but it's now my thing.
Look, it's... Oops, I haven't noticed the skull before. There's a skull just right in front of me in the water.
It's
So-
a fish.
I guess the fish were piranhas, so perhaps we should get out of here. Anyway, so that is Alderaan. I think I've done a pretty decent job sprucing it up.
It's not as big as I thought it would be compared to some of the others, but it's a lot more wider.
Yeah. It's a lot of small compact areas spread over a large landmass. But it's, again, it's very pretty. I really like just the opening palace area like this. It just feels so regal and ancient, and everything you'd want from something in Star Wars. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks once again to Zach Zahn for taking this tour with me and
Not a problem.
making sure that it wasn't as boring as it probably would have been if it was just me yabbering on. Anyway, so I am the Kiwi Kink, and I will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye!